Hey, interwebs and sound design nerds, James David Redden III here, and let's talk the power of Boom Library. I got a short fight sequence here, and I'm going to show you how I take it up a notch. We're going to be using Medieval Melee, Room Tones Europe, Room Tones USA, and Violent Combat. So turn on your monitors or put on your headphones, and let's get to it. I'm using a simplified version of my Pro Tools template. I just have my effects and my BGs here. It is an Atmos setup, but we are outputting stereo direct for this. So let's go ahead and take a look at this sequence. We're in a club sort of environment, some neon light, bit of a sword fight. Boom, boom, whoosh, whoosh, boom, sword fighting here. Couple clanks, a lot of movement. This is going to be great. All right, so let's start off with what I like to always start off with backgrounds. For me, the ambiences set the tone. They kind of give you an idea of what mood everything should sort of be in, but it also gives you an idea of where you are. So we're in this sort of club, so we could sort of say this is an enclosed space. And with those lights, I kind of want to hear like a buzz or a hum of some sort. So let's go to our sound library and look up hum. Since I'm working with Boom Library Room Tones, I know that they have these great 3D recordings, which gives you a quad with a high and a low recording of a space, which is excellent, especially in Atmos. We could take something like this, and we have two different layers of it. We're going to take the high, we're going to spot that over, trim them up. Great about this, I could take these and say, all right, let's take you in my Atmos. We're going with the high. Let's go ahead and put you up like that. And let's take you up and to the rear. Now we have a great sort of ceiling sound. We'll knock you down probably about 10 dB. That's a great height sound, but let's go ahead and find something that might work. I don't want a lot of movement in it. Ooh. Ooh. Has some nice hum to it and everything else. Let's just take this selection and we'll spot that over. Drag in the quad version. And since this is our lower section, we're just going to take this and pop it towards the back. And we're just going to collapse you into the center a little bit, about 75 or so. Take a listen. I'm liking that for our space. I'm going to take these and knock them both down another 10. Great. Now, I'd also like to have maybe one more something, maybe a little more buzz. I like this. Maybe pitch it down a little bit. I like that. I think we're going to take that and we're going to put that also on our low tracks here. What I like about it is that it has that little bit of clunkiness, and pitching it down really gives us that clunk and gives us a nice feel for it. What I think I'm going to do actually is reverse which one's in front and which one's in back. So we're going to take, typically would probably be the front, put that towards our back. Take this one, we're going to leave it wide and we're going to knock it down 10 dB. That gives us just a little bit of air movement, a little bit of whining. You know what? Let's raise this one back up. Maybe too high. Let's knock it down just a little bit. I'm not going to put in buzz for the lights right at this moment. I don't know if we need it really. And it's so, how do you say, trope that I kind of don't want to do it with all of our sword battle and everything else, that I think that the buzz might just get annoying and in the way. Just in a matter of minutes here, we got some great 3D atmospheres happening for our scene. Let's get to the fight sequence, shall we? We can close our backgrounds and let's open up our effects. We have some monos, we have some stereos, and we got some sword fighting to do. So we're gonna need some metal clanks, some body hits, some whooshes, some cloth movement. And luckily, our melee library does it all. Let's start off with the sword clanks, I think, just because I think those big loud clanks are going to be the thing that sort of gets us into it. So our first one, we got a dodge there. Boom, right there. Go over to our library and say metal hit. And for all these, I'm going to go with monos. Let's see, hard hit. There we go. Look at that. First choice. I think I'm gonna have these are gonna be my main hit sounds. Let's go ahead and just pop this over, blow it up. We're gonna just tab to transient, whack that top front off, and just see how this first one just feels. And actually, I'm just gonna bring it back a little bit into our motion blur here. Where's our next? We're gonna put a sword hit there for that deflect, right on that cut. Boom. Find another ring. Oh, that's nice. Let's see. What's the rest of the series? I think I'm gonna go with this one with the big thunk. Let's put that in. Perfect. We're gonna have to have a slash there. See, the good thing about picking one option to focus on, it gives us a chance to look at the rest of the fight. And we can actually see right back there. Boom. We look over here, we'll see that there's another sword hit right there. Come down a track, we'll find a different ringing. I just love the fact that I'm like, oh, this is working really well just by me randomly picking which ones I want to use. That's to me the sign of a good library. And I'm just gonna move that forward. So lock that down just a little bit, just because it is in the distance. Boom. By focusing on one aspect of it, the clanks, I can look at the rest of the scene and we could say, okay, I see what else is going on. So, like, I know I'm going to need a slash, I'm going to need some whooshes, I'm going to need metal drag for when the swords are rubbing against each other. Ooh, that's huge. A little too big for what I need at this moment. I like that. It sort of goes a little detuned. Just trying to rough it in. We're gonna have a stab there, and I think that's our last clank. All right, so we have a couple of clanks here. I'm gonna try to keep all the metal stuff on this first group of monos. We got our clank, hit, hit, swipe, 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 clank, flash. This one, we're gonna need some metal drag, so we're gonna put that in this grouping here too. Hits. Chains. How long do we need? Need something just a bit longer. We need something that's about just under 2 seconds. Oh, this is what we need. This is what we need. Oh, I like that part right there. Maybe it doesn't need to come back up like it does there. So let's chop that. Transient cut. Slide. That's gonna work great. I like that. You know what? We might as well keep the arm stab here too. And we don't see any blood, but visual effects are probably not done. They're probably going to add some splatter just in case they do. Even if they don't, this just makes it nice and gory. It allows us to know as the viewer just how much it's going in. Good. Ooh, ooh, I like this as a nice thunk. We're going to put this down on a different side. So try to flam it a little bit. A little forward. Nice. One thing I noticed while playing through this is I'm going to have that big slash there and I have a clank there. I'm going to lower that clank some more. All right, let's get to our body hits real quick and then we'll fill in the rest with our whooshes. I'd rather get all the hits done. Boom. Body hit. Ooh, brutal. That in there. Face hit. And nice snap. Always need a snap for the face. Obviously, we're going to put some more layers in here. Not bad at all. I like that. Let's pop this over. And with that little extra squish, we're going to actually put that over here with our face hit. And let's go back to here. Find something. Nope. That's nice hit. No. I should really read the descriptions instead of just randomly clicking. I don't know why. I'm just like hit, hit, hit. No, I need to read the descriptions and actually think about like, oh, what do I need? Cushion thumb. That has a nice, it's actually a really cool sound. Ooh, let's just take that first part, like the cloth thump of it. There we go. Now we're talking. We're gonna get another layer in here just to give it more oomph. Kind of like this, because what this gives me is a slight whoosh before the thunk. Perfect. Whoosh, whoosh. I do tend to make the sounds. It's how I sort of conceptualize what I'm going to need. I'm going to need a body slash there. Slash. I like that. Nice little rip sound. Maybe move it a few frames earlier. Remember that? Perfect. That's getting us right in the ballpark. I like these. Just take that part here. Just put it in the meat of the hit. Makes it sound like it's going straight through the clothing. And we're just sort of helping sell the danger. We just need to somehow make it seem like, oh yeah, that guy's going down. So, right. You know what? And I am going to, for right now, mute that hit because it is throwing me off. So we might come back to that later. But right now, for our slash here, we're still going to work on that a little bit. I like these because they have that metal shing to them as though it's slicing. And what's nice about this one is that it has a good impact at the front of it. So we can move it there, back it up a little bit. There we go. Now, slicing through. I want a little more something for the stab. We need something sharp to cut through. And what I'm loving about this library is that it does give me stuff with edge. And I don't just mean because we're doing swords and knives. I'm talking about sound. It has a little extra grit on it, which allows us to cut through the mix. And we need a thunk. Go back to our body hits. Ooh, I think actually we're going to use that for our body falling on the ground. Sometimes it's like you're working on one thing and then you're like, oh, you know what? I can actually just throw that in right now. That's going to be great for that. There we go. That in between here. It's coming along nice. You know, when we're searching for sounds, it's like you got to break it down to what you need. You know, what elements do you need? Take the sound to its basic elements, low frequencies, mid frequencies, high frequencies, sort of that sort of thing. And allow yourself to just explore different terms, right? Yeah, this isn't a punch, but I just searched up punch because it's going to give me different types of textured hits. And that's kind of what I need. I need a hit more than a stab at this moment, right? So let's go back to our Pro Tools and pop this in. That's working nicer. I'm going to take all these sort of gushier elements and pop them down a little bit. There we go. I think this is going to work really. So I'm going to take all of our hits and I'm going to put our hits in this section up here. Because then I can keep working down here for my whooshes when I come to that. Good. And we need the body kick there in our punch section. And one thing I did was I programmed into my sound miner a randomize button. So I could just hit a key command and have it randomize my search so I can find something different right away. Ooh. There we go. Boot to the face. All right, it's technically chest. Why am I thinking cloth hit? Because I kind of want something that, you know, it's not flesh on flesh. I want sort of that textured movement. Great. Textured movement gives it something a little more exciting. Take that, and then let's just sort of add a little thump and a little saturation to it. There we go. When you have all the elements right there at your fingertips, body fall. That's going to be for our victim after he gets kicked. Move it a little bit earlier. Excellent. Need another body fall. Nice and crunchy. I like that because most likely the score is going to be going crazy here, but we still want this to cut through. Having a little extra grit on our sounds here helps that cut through in a nice way. Ooh, ooh, these are nice falls. Excellent. And we know we have another body fall earlier from the slash. Actually move it a little bit earlier just to tie it in a little bit. Still not quite happy with the stab. I need flesh. Something. You know what I want? I want a smack. Oh, smack with a whoosh I'll take. Let me see if this does it for me. That's feeling a little better for me. Let's go back to our opening here. We start off with a sword, jab, and a dodge. So to emphasize that, we're going to find a nice metal ring. Maybe not that big. Got some great sounds here. Try swish. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, something like this. That's the one. Sometimes a sound just speaks to you and you're just like, yeah, that's the one I need. Put that right there. That's perfect. We can knock it down a little bit because it's subtle, right? You don't actually hear the metal ring unless you're the person that's going right past, but there we go. Let's start looking for, let's see. Those have a bit of like a back forth. Maybe that one will do. That's kind of nice. Now we need another. We need a swish right before that clank. One of these is going to be perfect for that. That for right before the body hit. One right before the face hit. Nice, sharp. Need the whoosh for the sword coming over. And the bend back and the swoosh by. I love the beginning of that. Let's see if we can grab that. Get rid of that part. Let's take that and duplicate it. Reverse it. No, sounds a little too textured, but I kind of like that. We're going to take this. We're going to tail it out. Probably about somewhere in there. What will be nice about that is that it gives us the ability to do our whoosh for our bend back. There we go. And we're going to need another swoosh here. Ooh, like that. Let's get that in there. Nice. Second whoosh in here just to get right before that hit. Excellent. One right before the slice. What I like about this is that it adds a bit of that cloth texture. And then we'll get another swoosh on top of this. A little whoosh there. These guys look like they're having way too much fun fighting. Ooh, here we go. We're going to take this. I'm going to leave a marker there so that I know where I was, but I'm going to come back here because that's going to work great for this shot. Yeah. Let that rip through. Love it. Maybe we can have a little cloth movement after this. I'm going to take this sound, putting in some sound design of a reversed whoosh here. We missed the pushback. Boom. Body hit there. Let's go back here and look for body. Do a randomize. Just kind of need that body hit table or wall or barrier of some sort that's there. We need another swipe there. Ooh, like that. There we go. And then we're going to need big, jumpy, like a launch. Let's look for whoosh. Let's shift it down. That's going to work. And add a little extra bass to it and crunch it a little bit. There we go. Let's see what else we can get here. Ooh, close, not quite what I want. I like these though. Get out of the way of our stab. Find some other part to add on top. The nice high pitch part of it is going to be good, just to add some interest to it. Actually, if we move this closer to our stab, it's more like the knives themselves. There we go. That adds it in nicely. I think if I can get another... That's a great hit, but let's find another metal hit to complement that one, shall we? I like that just because it has a little bit of a waver to it. So let's grab that and line it up like that. And let's get something. Those hits are a little bit more of a flesh slap here. So let's go here and slap. Too bad. Ooh, there we go. Nice. Smacky smack. I want a better gore thing for this. But I think it could sound a little more rippy. Maybe slice. Kind of like that, because it also gives it as though the sword is scraping off the sternum. Maybe we'll put in a better sword hit here. Ooh, I kind of like the ring of that. I like that one. That one is going to be our ring-a-ding, ding-dong, ding-along-loo. Nice. I think that's working. And we got the body hit there, but we don't have like a wood hit. Let's see if we got some table or something. Pitch it down. There, that's what we want. Maybe it has metal railing on it or something, but we kind of need a different sound in here just to break it up. So we're gonna fudge it a little bit with this to see if that helps us. That makes it sound like not just a body hit, but a body hitting something. Let's do impact. Ooh. Ramp up the action a little bit by making it a little wider in the space. Let's go with our stab and just another cracking through the ribs. Excellent. All right, let's go back to our person into wall area because I had another thought. Maybe like their back cracks or something. Cracks a little bit. Let's take this, pop it in there, see. Maybe make it a little delayed. Adding extra little detail of crisp allows it to snap a little bit more, allows it to hurt. I think we need to add a run up to that, like a charge. So we're gonna do a quick little search here. And we're gonna take this, lower it a little bit. Kind of like that, because it's giving us a little something leading up. Now it's starting to feel like the scene. And if I go and I pull up what some of my friends did in the Foley world, make that active, and we got some footsteps and some rustle going, which is great. Nice. All right, so we were given this piece of music, cut to the scene, kind of a slamming track here. Let's just take a listen to it on its own. So it's a, kind of an EDM glitch thing. It fits the scene very well. I think even by itself, just going with what we have already. works as a score. I don't think we necessarily need it to play as a score. What we could do, because we are kind of in this club atmosphere, like maybe this whole battle goes down. We walked into a club and the DJ was playing, and then, the crowd got out because somebody came in and yelled, "Get out of here." Let's take this and make it sound like it's playing through the club system. And we could do that with ease with Enrage. And Enrage is a multi-processor rack that you can put in a bunch of different processes, such as delay and distortion and filtering and imaging and so on and so forth. You can build out your own rack while also controlling all of it with different envelopes, macros that you can use for automation. It comes with a great deal of presets already built in that you can just say, what do I want? Oh, I want an effect, and I want it to be filtered, and I want it to do a stereo wobble of sorts. You can do all sorts of different things here. One that's interesting to try for this is we could try station announcement. Load that up, and you can see here that it's put in a wave shaper, a basic verb, some shelving, gain and output. So if you wanted to put something else in here, you could. Like if we wanted to take a delay, we could put it actually on a different part of the chain, open it up and put it over here, and then just thread the stereo in to go across both and stereo out, and we could do that. We're not going to do that right now. We're just going to go back and load up station agent announcement the way it is. What's nice about this preset is that it's sort of already pre-built to be, inside of reverberant space. Our drum and bass part gets a little lost in here, but that's okay because we can go ahead and build our own presets if we want. If we build one, we can go in here, and I've actually already built one that I like that I've used before called the club system. Load that up. I have some filters happening. I have a variable drive distortion happening, and I have a reverb happening that's on the side. And there you have it, a quick way to build in a speaker system for a club. Give it some grit, give it some of that overdrive. The DJ's pushing their system a little bit hard, right? Easy peasy. Okay, I'm gonna do a little sweeteners, do a little extra mixing, add some reverb, put some sounds in the space, and we'll just button this up. All right, let's check out the final mix. When you have something that's excellent as Boom Library, it's easy to make a scene sound good. Until next time.